What's going on, everybody? Oh, you made it. Who's here? Troy Man is first tonight. Vin Man is second. Gretchen. So close and yet so far. Moody, I'm going to do a comedy segment. Who told you? This is leaked. Leaked to the press. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. That's not okay. Not okay with it. Michael Height, welcome to Basic Ace Hall. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the support. You didn't realize your membership didn't renew? If it's gifted to you, you usually have a month, and then it goes away. And so I thank you, though, for the support, the $3 a month. It really helps, honestly, when so many people are a part of it. What is going on, Goodwill? KYP's in the house. KYP'zel. Pat Shigoya, Robert, Frank, alerts. Couple nice days here. Absolutely. We're going to talk about it. Honey Badger in the house. I missed SMCR, SCMI. That one's going nuts. Over 1,000 last I saw. Toe Cramp, what's up? BB. Edward Barona, Dan A. Brenda Queen of Swords. Zachariah, Lyrical. Look at all these good peeps tonight. Diana's in the house. You like my funky music? Kira, you got the IPA, OJ, double IPA. Nice. I'm jealous, man. I'm only drinking on the weekends right now, but I miss the taste. I love the taste of beer. Once it hits your lips, it tastes so good. Aloha, John Morales. Greg Menard, what's up? Sway, how's it going? Corey, what's up? If at least one of these can run, you can finally leave corporate America. We had our mission statement meeting at 4 o'clock this morning. Oh, God, I am so sorry, Corey. That's awful. Oh, God. Corporate mission statements. Ugh. That's rough. How am I coming on the new countdown? Sorry, Mike. I have not taken the time. I'll get to it eventually. P-Man. Ace will be DC. I'll have to use my Niner skills for that. What's up, Jesse? John Doe, what's going on? Moody, you like the 60-second intro? You get through the ads before I come out. Oh, there you go. That's the way of thinking about it. Good. I'm glad. What's up, Pat Ciccio? Primo Bro? Look at all these good people. You make terrible investments, says James Lawyer. You're Mott Core's fanny pack. What were you thinking, man? What were you thinking? What's up, Ron Husker? It's getting pretty funny watching them manipulate these downs. Dude, play the funky music, white boy. I am so white. All right, let's just start today looking at our stocks, and then a couple others that I've been watching here. But man, I tell you what, Finger just coming in strong today with the 29 cents up. Ham said last night that, hey, we should be hearing something about the dividend real quickly, but he also expected us to start hearing about those 5 major companies that have partnered with them and hearing more on that. So I'm wondering, it looks to me like some word on the street is spreading, because Finger's definitely going back up. And even in after hours, not much, but up a little bit. But look at all the green still here. Rumble up 50 cents. Wolf traded 31 million shares today. Didn't move. Like, what the heck is up with that? ZJYL a little off, but nothing to worry about. Up, gaining it all back in after hours. But the things I'm watching the most right now, GTII seems to have found its bottom and is holding strong, and I think ready to pounce at any point. And then Finger is getting lively. So many people thought Finger was going to dip under 2 and get down to that 150 range, and Finger is saying, no way, mother effers. I'm showing you guys what I got, and I'm loving it. I mean, who knows if we could keep this up, but I feel like Finger is starting to really turn it around. I mean, 260, we haven't been up here in a while. A day or two more of this, we'll be back over 3, and then we'll really start, I think, getting a lot of buy-ins. What's up, Nan Sadik, old man? Toe Cramp, what did I say hit 1,000? I think it's SCMI. Limiting beliefs. It's SCMI or SMIC. What is it? SMCI. Yeah, here we go. Super microcomputer. Look at this run. All right, this thing is going nuts right now. And let me make this a little smaller so we can get more of that chart in there. And just look over the 5-day. Oops, I need to move for over here. So it was down. Oh, no, it's been going up all year. My bad. Hold on a second. All right, so at the beginning of the year, here we are, 275. And yeah, it's broken 1,032 in after hours today. So there you go. I hope that helps your limiting beliefs. It's possible, man. This could be ZJYL soon. This could be Finger soon. We just gotta keep believing. And hold on. I mean, super micro chip computers? Like, what the heck? No, I mean, I've never even heard of this until today. And somehow it's just been running up like crazy all year. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. But it's wild. Honey Badger, you love the smell of napalm or burnt shorts in the morning? We should get there soon. What's up, Baker? Gretchen, you know IBKR has 10 million shares available to short. Is it possible to naked short a share and then lend that share to someone else to short, thus profiting twice? Great question, Gretchen. That's got to be somebody who's got a higher pay grade than me, whether it's Ham, William. I don't know what my dog is doing. Hopefully one of my kids lets her in. That's her let me in voice. I'm sorry. She's driving me nuts over here. But yeah, I don't know, Gretchen. That's a great question. I would think not, but who knows? Everything is so fraudulent right now. Moody, you once went to a Polish restaurant. They had a version of that song, play the polka music. What's that have to do with anything? What's up, Susan? NC in the house. Going on a long weekend could get interesting. I know. And I didn't realize it was a long weekend. Is Monday off is Monday off this week in the markets? What would it be? I don't know why. Can we see Doggo? Nah, she's outside downstairs. I'd have to go leave. ZJYL hit 50 after the 21 market split, making that 1,000 pre-split technically too. Yeah, Jeff, you're absolutely right. And not only did it hit 50, but it hit, I think, 59 according to some charts, which 59 is the equivalent of almost 1,200. So that's pretty wild. Volcal's up 28%. I don't know anything about Sora. You guys remember, there's so many stocks out there. I can't keep track of all of them. I'm really watching ours most of the time. And then also what's going on with the economy in general, which we got to talk about that a little bit today too. Oh, it's President's Day. Okay. I didn't think about that. I've still not gotten used to President's Day. I remember growing up and we had Lincoln's birthday and Washington's birthday. I don't know how many of you guys also remember that, but that's to me, that still feels right. This weird combining it thing I'm not used to it. Could it be possible for Finger to release the dividend and Univest make its move, throw in big time PR moonshot? Absolutely, that's possible. I have no idea if that's what we'll see or not, but is it possible? Of course it's possible. And if I was on Finger's side, I think it would be a great idea to make that run. So who knows? Jesse Kennedy says they do lend them again. So there you go, Gretchen. What's up, Nick Raum? Meerkats closed Monday. Wasabi. Daniel, ZJYL holding steady in the 8s. Soon we move upward. Thoughts? You guys, I've talked about ZJYL plenty the last couple weeks. I have no concerns about this stock whatsoever. Volume's down a little bit today, but nothing to worry about. It's held. We know that 13G was released yesterday, and I'm sorry, guys. My dog is driving me nuts. I got to text one of my kids for just leaving her out there. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Trying to have a show here. This is the live factor of TV, though, guys. All right, hopefully they take care of this because this is nuts. I don't know how much you guys can hear. But she's driving me crazy. All right. Hopefully that takes care of it soon. To celebrate Biden on Monday? No, we don't. We can celebrate our good presidents. But as far as ZJYL is concerned, it's just a matter of time on this thing. They are so stuck that I think either one big buy-in can trigger it, or one short just getting tired of being extremely underwater. Remember, we were told that they were under at like $20 when it was up to 300, and so at the forward split, that puts them down at about the dollar range. So they'd have to kill this thing to even get back above water. I just don't see it happening. So at all. Celebrate Trump Day. Oh my God. Finger 10. Am I going to talk about Mark Bazill's tweet? No, I missed it. So I'll have to go look it up. What'd he say? Free cherry pies when you buy an appliance. I don't remember any of this stuff. Honey Badger, old school George Washington Day, then Abe Lincoln Day. Kids these days get screwed. Yeah, they do, but I do think they get more time off than we do. Zachary, what's going on with Stark Industries? You're very funny. That's very funny, Zachary. What's up, Big JR? Is Wolf a victim of insane naked shorts also? I don't know. How about we let the chart tell us? I mean, look at this nonsense. I mean, 31 million shares traded, and it didn't budge a cent up or down. What is that? I mean, how is that even possible? Yes, Wolf is heavily naked shorted. I think all the Bitcoin miners are. But Wolf is the one that other people are, excited about the most, that we know, like big whale types are excited about. So as far as we know. So I do think it's got potential eventually, but it'll be, on my opinion, like the fourth or fifth stock I'd jump into after other things run, but it's definitely there. And I definitely think it's going to have some big things going on. My dog has a important stock pick to tell us about. Trust me, you don't want her advice. I love her, but she's not very smart. Yeah, the only text I didn't get all day, right? That's how it goes. Anything going on with MMAT? I mean, people were talking about yesterday that there might be news of a possible merger. I have no idea what's coming up with that, but it's possible at some point. Yeah, 1 billion naked shorts for Wolf, and I feel like Cam just said that. So you made a killing on the miner Annie in the last run months ago. Yeah. So I might have to go get her because my kids are not responding. I got 2 teenagers who just do whatever they want, and now they're just seem to be ignoring me. I'm going to give it one more shot here. All right, let's see. Last chance for them. All right. When ZJYL runs and the shorts start to cover, will they be forced to cover all 200 million shares? It depends. I mean, if it's different shorts, it'll be one at a time. So there you go. Did I hear FINRA attorneys want to sit down next bridge? No, I did not. I thought it was the other way around, that they were trying to get a meeting with FINRA. Hold on, guys. Somebody asked to leave comment. That's Sonora's job. She's not biting. Hey, Sonora, you go get Kona. Jacob, I said you're in charge. I've been watching her. Okay. You did Sonora. Sonora, you're in charge of Kona. She won't. Jake has her. Dear God. Right. So we got a puppy, and the puppy likes to bite, And so my daughter didn't want to be downstairs because the puppy was biting her. My son's watching the puppy, and so they just ignored the other dog. So that's what went down. Isn't that fun? It's fun having kids and stuff. So that's real talk, real life right there, guys. So I'm not tough with them. KYP, you have no idea. It's tough these days. We love Get the Dog. This is great, isn't it? Moody said you're going to get a comedy show tonight. No, instead you're just getting me with my stupid dog and my kids running amok. And hopefully you guys get a laugh about it. But Control Alt delete my computer while he's away. True story. Before I came on tonight, my computer started acting all funky, and I thought it had crashed. I had to pull together some quick thinking and restart it, mess with the motherboard real quick, and then got it going. So I was almost late, but somehow I still made it 3 minutes early because that's what I do. And the dog a ribeye. My dogs don't get ribeyes, dude. Come on, I have 6 kids to feed. I'm not paying $14 a pound so my dog can eat something good. That's ridiculous. But if you're old, retired, or rich, your dog can have a ribeye. But my dogs don't get ribeyes. They're lucky I buy the healthy food for them and not just, Walmart brand, because that's, it is what it is. Need more dogs to keep the other dogs coming. That's true. But my older dog does not like the puppy yet. So it's just annoying. Corey, that's what you get. You should have an inmate with your kids like me fishing a bull bird cage or turtle cage. I mean, we do what we can. Did I try turning it off and on again? My computer? No, what happened? Well, I don't want to get all technical on you guys. It went to the BIOS for some reason, and I had to do the BIOS, and I had to do some stuff on that, and then I had to restart it. So vet says pedigree sufficient. Yeah, unless you find the only gluten-free dog in the world like mine, who gets crazy ear infections when I give her gluten dog food. So, it's good times. What did Ham say last night about GTI? So what I'll tell you guys is that, for one thing, Ham might share more details later on GTII. But what I can tell you about GTI is that there are some interesting things going on behind the scenes. And what we need to wait and see is what happens with those. Man, I really can't say more. What I can tell you though is that I don't feel like it's going to be long before we see a turnaround here. I'm very excited about the fact that GTI has found its floor, in my opinion. I really don't see it going down much again in a big way. It's been holding at 20 for so long, and knowing this stock, this is exactly what's happened every time it's turned around before. So in my opinion, I think we're right there. And then there's other stuff going on with the company that's really interesting. But Ham has got to, if he wants to share details, it's got to be him. But I will tell you that I'm not worried at all. I love this stock. I'm so excited about GTII. And for those who might be newer, it's been a while since you heard the story. I mean, GTII is the only stock anybody can ever come up with that has literally been called out by the NSCC for having a broker's been called out for having a concentrated short position in the stock. And not only was the broker called out, but the stock itself was named. It's just massive. That's massive. GTI is been counted for the last 3 years. People have been counting what's been shorted against it. And we, based on those numbers, which are not 100% accurate, they're an estimate based on what we've been seeing, but we're thinking 400 to 500 million shorts, naked shorted against it. Okay, so that's massive, and that could put the short interest somewhere between, we think, 5 to 800%. All right, I've been told by somebody at the company, this was 2 months ago, that what was being held at the DTCC is 96 million float. The float numbers now that are being shown on CNBC and others are like 240, somewhere around there. I don't know where that discrepancy is coming from, whether it's A bunch of restricted shares got unrestricted or not. But either way, the short percentage is massively high. Like we're talking GameStop ran to 500 at 177. Okay. We know the stock is, it's completely fraudulent. What's going on by it. We know who the shorters are and they were called out. So this stock has a bullseye on it. We know they can't deliver a simple dividend. The brokers can't. So we know the brokers are all in on it. We know that Westpac was calling the FBI over a naked short against GTII. We know that, I mean, these are all facts. We have on phone people calling, looking for shares. That's been shared on the internet. I mean, when you put all that together, GTI is a no-brainer, especially at these prices, to take a flyer on. Because when you put together like the possibility of this squeeze, it could go from 20 cents to $700, $1,000, $1,200. I mean, think about like what an amazing return that is. So, I mean, everybody keeps asking me GTI. I'm like, I have no news to share with you guys that's brand new. Okay, I don't. The company hasn't done much lately. It's basically a company run by 3 people, and the CEO is an older guy. And so they move slow. They do, but they've also done everything possible to show that they're on the side of their shareholders. So they're fighting with us. They haven't used any excuses to get out. They issued a warrant at one point. It ran the stock to $9. They issued a dividend trying to do the same thing. And instead of the stock running, the brokers just didn't deliver it. And we're still waiting on that. But it tells you there's a problem. And it tells you the stock massively volatile in the past. So that's where we're at with GTI, guys. I mean, it's still the same story. Personally, whenever I have a little few extra bucks, I just throw some more at GTI at these prices, because for $1 you get 5 shares. $5 you get 25 shares. It's just an easy accumulation right now when you have a little bit of extra cash in your brokerage account. And so that's what I do. Like if I make a trade and I have a few bucks left over, I'm just building up GTI at these prices. And I truly believe that eventually this thing is going to run and it's going to melt faces. And if it's just the cherry on the top of catching a double or triple, a quadruple squeeze after all these others, all the better for all of us. That's what we're talking about with GTI, guys. It's unbelievable. So, I love the stock. I'm a roaring kitty, right, honey badger? I have 2 female dogs, so there you go. Reboot the dog. She's out. Yeah, finger close at 262. Gretchen, so would Ham categorize this GTI news as something that would make it a buy rather than a hold, as he called it? Because it hasn't 100% affected the company yet. That's all I can tell you guys. It's just more of what's going on around the company that could affect it. I would not say it's enough to be a catalyst unless it pushes them into something. That's all I can say. Goodwill says it ripped to $9.81 from roughly 82 cents. If you divide that by the float dilution, 469 since then. So you're saying it would be 20 cents to 469? That's still a good run. Buzzman, so now back to finger from ZJYL. We're being pinball. What the hell are you talking about, Buzzman? Buzzman. Oh my God. We got another guy on here. Buzzman, are you for real? Pinballing back and forth? I've never stopped talking about any of these. So you either don't watch me or you're purposely trying to start something, which means I'll just send you out, because there's no reason for somebody acting like a moron here, man. Come on. You're actually talking just like the other. Okay. Halts. Here we go. Are you sure you're not the Jordan from last night? Because you sound just like him. That's all right. I'm going to send you away. Now you can watch. You just can't comment. So it's kind of like being in purgatory. Enjoy. We won't miss you. Pickleball, if I had 10,000 to buy, what would I buy and why? Man, that's a great question. 10,000 is a lot to trade with. I would want to be in a few stocks. Let's go to my watch list right now. to answer that question. So I guess there's a lot of let's just assume I already have what I have. Okay, so with $10,000, I already have my biggest positions GTI followed by finger. I would probably take. I'd put 1,000 into ZJYL. I put 1,000 into RUM right now, and I'd actually put probably 2,000 into DWAC right now because it sounds like they're about to complete that merger, and that's why this price has been soaring today. I'd pick 1,000 GDC. I would just spread it all out is what I'd do. Yeah, I would probably just put 1,000 in each, and then a couple thousand here because this looks like it's run. And I'm probably I'd do 2,000 ZJYL, 2,000 DWAC, and then 1,000 in the rest. That's what I'd do, just to make sure I'm in everything a little bit more. So you're saying there's a chance? That's right. Goodwill. Then we're at about 17 cents. Is that what you're saying? We were in GTI. We're at 21, right? Thomas, if GTI should squeeze and you sell your shares and you only have the dividend shares left, can you sell them too? I mean, if they issue the dividend, yeah, you could sell them. But if it squeezes and they haven't issued the dividend yet, no. I mean, but I imagine at that point you could sue. Goodwill says it could go to 17 cents he's talking about GTI on a pre-dip rip, but it's not worth waiting it out. Might as well just keep adding to 20,000 shares. Yeah, 17 is. I mean, at this point, that might be a long wait if it ever even gets there. Buzzman got buzzed out. That's right. BB, is the GTI news something we'll hear about after it happens, or something I'll have a press release for? Yeah, I can't say anymore, guys. You'll just have to wait. I think Ham will be back on Twitter tomorrow, and he mentioned last night that he might break it out on Twitter. So I'm going to let him be in charge of that. Thomas, older female will put the younger one in pecking order soon. Female dogs are best because you can't throw them off. Oh, yeah. Males are... I know. I used to have a male and female dog. It was terrible. How much can DWAC go? I have no idea, but it's been very strong in the last month. And I imagine once it completes its merger, DWAC 2 years ago ran to, I think, 127. So, yeah, it could be a nice quick one. Rumdog, while you kick that hacker bot out, I transfer more money to Fidelity, doing more discount shop. There you go. I need a hilarious catchphrase or sound effect for booting people out. Okay, I'll work on that. That's a great idea. I'll work on it. I think I've been kicking more people out lately. The shills are really showing up. I am Ace and this is my world. Oh my God. That's so cheesy. I love it. That is great. DWC is merging with the Trump Media Group, which is what's it called? Truth Social and all that. So male talking to human like is awful. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, man, yesterday that Jordan R guy came on, or Jordan something. That guy was a dick. And then this guy came in tonight was saying the exact same stuff. So it makes me think it's either the same person or they're really trying to hammer stuff right now. And I think it's because they're scared of ZJYL right now. I think this is about to pop. But it also, I mean, we're also seeing a lot of momentum on Finger, which is exciting. I mean, I'm telling you, if these stocks are shoring up right now into strength zones, which is ZJYL, Finger, even GTII, if they're shoring up into strength, and it's this is about to go down in March, this is very exciting. It's well, I should say it's potentially very exciting. Because I really think this liquidity crisis could cause something. I listened to a wonderful video today. And in fact, I'm going to share it with you guys because I think it's important and I think you guys should all watch it when you get a chance. I am not afraid to I'm not afraid to share, to promote other people's YouTube, because this video is so good. right here. Okay, so this video right here, this interview with this hedge fund guy, I think he's Australian, but so the channel is George Gammon. All right, and he's got good stuff. I don't know if any of you guys have watched him before. He's got really good stuff. But anyways, he's been doing videos lately on how the passive investing and how like the big problem it is right now. Okay, so passive investing, if you guys don't understand, is it's all the people in 401ks and stuff, and every time they get in, it's passive investing because they're not actively choosing every little thing. They're paying their 401ks or mutual funds, whatever. And when that money goes in, they're buying stuff up and they want to play it safe. So they're buying Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, Apple, all that. And that's what's causing all these stocks to soar right now. The passive investing has gone it's at the highest rate it's ever been. Okay, so what happens with these hedge funds and everything is that they to get more leverage and to build to push up the price more, because there's so many passive investors right now, it's almost tapped out. Okay, we're almost at a place where we can't grow anymore. There's not many more to come in, so there's very little money coming in. But what they're doing is they're borrowing from the banks. They're getting leverage, and so they're pushing up those prices. And in the past, when the market's great, like that's great because they pay off their loans real easy with their profits, and everybody's happy, everybody's making a ton of money. But now that leverage is getting to the point where there's no more active investors. There's very, very few, and so this is why all the small caps are dying out. Well, because there's also no more people coming into the passive investing. They're running out of leverage, and so the banks, the risk portfolios are going way up. And this is all in this video. You guys got to watch. It's fantastic. But he talks about he breaking all this down, how the risk is going way up, and the banks are already getting more and more hesitant to loan. Well, if this liquidity stuff goes down come March, with the BTFP being pulled, reverse repo going to zero, and we start seeing regional bank failures, and also with the commercial real estate, all of that starts crashing. Well, the banks will have no money to lend for leverage whatsoever because it'll be risky. And that's when we start seeing the market crash. So it is very possible. Now, these guys also talk about because of that passive investing and they're playing it so safe, it is possible that for a while we continue to see a melt up until it happens. But basically there's just no way there's a safe escape from this. It's going to happen eventually one way or the other, whether it's March, September, you name it. Maybe it happens after the first rate cut, or if Powell has to hike again because of inflation. But the point is that they're running out of that money from the banks to keep the leverage going. Because the risk profile is going so high. So we have to watch this really carefully, because I'm telling you that this is also where, the shorts that are trapped, that's the only way they're getting money is borrowing it. They're not making money when they're trapped in a short, they're trapped in a short squeeze stock. So this is all coming. The chickens are coming home to roost, guys. I mean, to use a Southern slang that is nothing like my heritage. But all right, let me catch up with you guys here for a second. Jordan, I can't tell you what to do, man, but personally I would spread it out. You accept the horrible wrench and you're not biased. What I miss? Goodwill saying he was using a convoluted way of saying just buy GTI now at 21 cents rather than wait. It might just rip from here because they're not getting it under 20 cents. That's what I feel like too. I feel like they tried to get under 20 cents. They couldn't. Yeah, exactly. ZJYL is a reaper to them. Don't fear the reaper. Zechariah, you're saying the market got greedy and you could profit. Exactly right. Yeah. M Echo, does dark pool volume really not affect the price on the lit exchange? It can affect it somewhat, but eventually even that dark pool money has to be traded. So on the lit, so I think it's just postponing the inevitableness. Carl, don't worry about the shills. You and Ham are doing an amazing and noble job. Oh, thanks, Carl. I appreciate that, man. All the popular short stocks are up, says Kitties. Yes. Let's see here. What's up, Busy Brand's in the house? Oh boy, how you doing, man? I haven't talked to you in a while, Busy. We need to catch up. Finger, it stands Best Buy in the basket at the moment. Are you saying Finger's a buy right now, Goodwill? M Echo, listen to Rogan's podcast with Brett Weinstein. I did. It's fantastic. Thank you, M, for recommending that. I listened to it when it first came out. I always listen every time Brett's on Rogan. It's good stuff. So, Steven, are you to believe it's shorts in a panic? Your thoughts? I do believe the shorts are close to a panic if they haven't already started. Yep, exactly. Matthew, tried to buy 25,000 shares of GTI today. It was very difficult. Something has changed. I walked away with 8,000. No one was out. Really? That's very interesting, Matthew. Thank you for sharing that. Would you mind telling me where you tried to buy them and at what price? Because that's very interesting. You only could get 8,000 out of the 25,000? Wow. What's up, Fox Hunter? Carl, do I still think ZJYL is a likelihood? Oh, yeah. Running much higher? I do. I think it would go much, much higher. The one, you're buying 100 shares of ZJYL, 1,000 finger tomorrow. Well done, buddy. I can't get there. Joe, was that a good summarization? Thank you. I appreciate that. I was dealing with some technical terms I haven't really spoken on much before, so I appreciate you saying that. This video is very in depth. I mean, these guys know their stuff. They are hardcore market guys that in a way that I'll probably never be. But and speaking of this video is really good. I want to pull up one other one I watched of his too that it really breaks down the leverage even better. Let's see here. It's this one right here. It could crash by 50% or more. This is a really good video as well. So I just discovered this George Gammon guy. He's very smart. He's a little dull, but his stuff is excellent, and he's a total statistician kind of guy. So really good information. I highly recommend him. And if he ever recommends me, my viewership will go up by 100 times because he's got like 500,000 subscribers. I don't know how. I've never heard of him before. Let's see here. Thomas, 5,500 shares of GTI for over a year. Your taxes would be lower if you sell them. If it should squeeze, if I buy more, does it affect my tax base? Good question, Thomas. I don't quite understand what you're asking. I mean, I would worry about losing your long-term capital gains. Yeah, because you could, if it does squeeze, you'll pay so much less in taxes if you don't sell. Jesse, dark pool trades are sent batch throughout the day. They have the option to hold on to them for a few days before letting them print, though. That's true. Yeah. Bobby Boucher. Big JR, you always see multiple float numbers from multiple sites. I always go off what's at DTC personally. Yeah, and I think we have to, Big JR. I absolutely think we have to. If we can, if everybody, I don't think everybody knows how to get that information, though. So at 205, maybe it's because it didn't stay down there long enough, Matthew. I wonder what would have happened if you tried at 22 cents. Fox Hunter, you feel like this is our year. All our stocks will squeeze. I can't stop what's coming. Oh, well, I 100% agree with that. I would be like last year felt like pretty good chance, but I was still newer in the plays. I mean, I didn't know them as inside and out. I hadn't been in a fight like this before, unless you count AMC, but I don't really count that because that was just short-circuited by the CEO. These are different. So, but yeah, I learned a lot last year. Let me put it that way. But this year, the way the market's shaping up, I will be astounded if we make it to the end of the year. But I also look at it as we have a get out of jail free card at the end of the year if they don't squeeze by the end of the year. In my opinion, we could call it a Trump card because I'm telling you, I believe 100% Trump's winning this election and coming back, and he's putting Patrick Byrne in charge of the SEC. And so if we don't, for some reason, if this market makes it through this year and we don't pop off this year, next year is when they clean up this naked shorting problem. And so that's that's honestly, in my personal opinion, the worst case scenario. So, I mean, if that, and like I said, I'd be stunned if it goes that far, but that's how I see it going down if we make it that far. Because once Patrick Burns in, man, he said he put an end to this on day one. TPS, did I hear Ham today? Wealthy friend of his was buying tons of stock to keep one of our favorite stocks from dropping. Others may know the details better than I. Interesting. I wonder. I have an idea of what he's talking about, but I did not listen to that. So, Stoney, by the ask on GTI, I've had trouble getting limit orders below the price to fill too. Check out Lynn Alden. Okay, thank you, Ryan. I will. Thomas, won't hedgies just have their dark pool market maker buddies create fake shares and sell it offshore so the regulars can claim? I mean, Thomas, it's possible for a little bit of time, but at some point, their tricks won't work anymore, because at some point this stuff has to be dealt with. Okay, and as Ham believes, and because of Ham teaching me, because of people like Pedro teaching me, and because of what I've gleaned on my own research, I personally don't believe they can keep it up forever. I personally believe that when the market goes down and all that liquidity dries up and they're not able to just dance around as much, and all of a sudden they're getting called out, and the risk factor is so much because the market's going down or the economy's in a bad place that the banks and the brokers aren't playing around anymore. I'm telling you, I just don't think they're going to be able to do that. We're not dealing with Citadel in these plays. These are not the tickers that what's his face? Griffin is waking up in the morning watching while he's drinking his morning coffee. This is not those. He's not saying, oh God, they're fighting us on GTI today. No, he's still watching GameStop, AMC, other big tickers that but we are fighting the little guys. We're fighting the little crooks. And at some point, this is going to run out on them. And I believe it's eventually going to run out on Citadel too. That's just a bigger fish to fry. Just be a little one. That one will probably be even harder. Maverick of Wall Street. So there's all these great people out there. It's impossible for me to watch all of them, but I'm always learning. Has everyone received the 20-1 forward split? I believe so. Has everybody gotten it? By the time Trump's in office, you'll be 100% long. There you go. Year of the squeeze. I like that. No more Mr. Magoo. He does look like Mr. Magoo, huh? I love it. Hedgies pumping the stock because they need cash. That's normal, yeah. Goodwill says, haven't been able to get GTI and Robinhood since 2021. Really? GTI was shut off in Robinhood that long ago? That's crazy. Okay. What's up, Not? Busy says dark pools are wet racist. Not legal comes in with the heat tonight. Oh my God, Richard. That one caught me off guard. Dark pools are wet racist. I'm going to steal that from you. I'm going to use it on somebody else, and that's going to make me look like a genius. That is one of the best ones. That's one of my favorites, Richard. Well done. Well done, sir. Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh God, you crack me up, man. All right, let's go over some of what's going on in the economy, because it's fun as always. Can't stop thinking about that dark pools thing. Oh man, too funny. All right, got some interesting charts to look over. Let me pull them up here. All right, just a second. All right, we'll go through these first. Let's see. Robinhood doesn't allow OTC stocks. Okay, that makes sense then. The palm of your left hand's been itching like crazy today. Uh-oh. Money. Anyone trading on Robinhood? He's like, yeah, I do wonder who's still using Robinhood. That is kind of wild to me. I've never trusted them since the whole buy button incident. All right. So cash is now a more attractive alternative to stocks. This is obviously the hardcore investors are starting to look into cash. One of the reasons is, like I was just saying in that from that Gammon video with the hedge fund guy, because the leverage is getting so crazy. They can see that the risk in the markets right now with even the Magnificent Seven is the highest it's been in a long time. It's very rare to get to a point of like this, is what he was saying. And so smart money is now starting to get up into cash. And this last happened, this divergence where cash was more attractive to stocks. It didn't even happen in the great financial crisis of 08, 09. It last happened before the dot-com bust, which is interesting because a lot of these stocks are tech stocks buoying up the market. Apple, Nvidia, Google, you name it, Microsoft. Those are all tech stocks. You could even say Tesla. And so it's, again, the NASDAQ, which might be the one, the catalyst that knocks a lot of this down. So you know something's wrong when taking risk is rewarded less than simply holding cash. And you can just see the chart right here. I mean, look how far in the black it is too. I mean, that's pretty significant. That's pretty significant. During the financial crisis, 08 was where it almost got there, but then soared back up. And you can just see how they've been pumping the stock market ever since. This is because of quantitative easing. Okay, this is when the Fed put rates down to zero right here and then shot the liquidity into the markets like crazy. And you just see the stock market has been performing like we've never seen it before. And yet the stock market, okay, it went up, it held, and then it dipped down here during COVID, and the market is now shot up again. But meanwhile, the smart investors are going to cash. So why? You got to ask yourself why. And it's because they see what's coming. And this is why I have such a hard time believing anybody who doesn't think something significant's about to happen negatively in the markets. When you see stuff like this, it's like, why? How can anybody truly believe that? Yeah, Bezos sold some more. In fact, I was just going to bring that up. Let me do that next, since you're on it there. Yeah, so Bezos has now unloaded $4 billion of Amazon stock in just the last 5 days. He hadn't sold stock since 2021. That's pretty interesting. 2020 was a crash. 2021 was the last pump. Okay, we pumped roaring out of the COVID mess when everything opened up, roared out of it until we had that correction in 2022. So last time he did this is he basically was trying to catch a peak. And so that's, I think, what he's doing again. He's catching the peak right here. $4 billion is a lot, guys. You don't move $4 billion out. I mean, I know he's worth what, 80, 100 billion, maybe more. So I guess it's not that much to him. But at the same time, these guys count every penny. A lot of them do. And I'm pretty sure Bezos is one of those. So to sell $4 billion, that's a lot. He doesn't need that for anything. My guess is he's moving it somewhere safe. Maybe he's loading up in cash. So showing your pool privilege. Oh my God, we're still going on that. I love it. Jasper, crazy how many halts on the way up, 5%, but no when a stock drops 50%. Exactly. Yeah. Whoa, we're up to 6 billion with Bezos now. So I'm behind. All right, hold up. I need to pull up the latest news. There it is, 4 hours ago. So I was a little old. Thank you, JR. Even crazier, 6 billion in roughly 6-7 days. That's a lot. That is a lot. Hear me out, his girlfriend might be expensive. His ex-wife is, I think it's his ex-wife, is the richest woman in the world, just based off the money she got from him in the divorce. I mean, If you're going to marry somebody you don't love, at least marry somebody really rich. That's what I'm going to say about that. All right, here we go. Inflation adjusted U.S. spending since 2020 is more than the combined spending World War I, World War II, and 70 to 90. This is significant. For those who don't know, 1970 to 1990 was our Cold War spending. It's when we basically decided to ramp up, especially in the 80s, ramp up our defense spending to the monolithic levels it's at now, ramp it up in order to outspend the USSR and make them retreating. So, I mean, look at this, though. World War I, deficit spending, and then even out. World War II, little bounce after World War II. That's our amazing bounce right there, by the way. Our World War II changed the economy. You know, it's just that we were down here. And then, I mean, we've been really bad at money for a long time here, guys. 30 years of deficit spending is, back up. And then, wow. I mean, it's unreal. It's unreal what we're doing right now. Not legal. Bezos is short even when long, and he might be buying her. Bezos is short even when long. Yeah, he is. Somebody sent me a picture of Bezos today, and it was actually Vin Diesel. It cracked me up because Bezos got all ripped. Made me laugh. Dogs back to back. In the past, I've said GTI dividends doing what's supposed to do, and here we are still untradeable, and the stock's down 90%. How's the dividend helped us in any way? Great question, Dogs. How has it helped us? Well, the dividend, by the way, it's not down 90% since the dividend was issued. Okay, that was supposed to be released in October is when we were supposed to have it unrestricted, and it was in the 50s in October. But I hear what you're saying. It's doing what it's supposed to do because it's trapped the shorts even further. It's put pressure on the brokers. Do you think the brokers want to go on living with this dividend in thousands of people's accounts, millions of shares? Do you think they want to go on living like that, where they cannot settle this out? That people are constantly bugging them about it. They have to live with fear of legal repercussions. They have to live with fear of figuring out how to get the shares and getting like the money off their books in case something bad goes down. The only reason they don't deliver it is because they have a major issue. And what it's done is it's trapped them even further because short sellers are the ones who have to pay for the dividends if they don't cover. That's on them. And so this means that the brokers, when they finally want to do it, when it finally gets too bad, they're going to go after the shorts even harder, because ultimately the brokers are not going to be the ones who want to pay for this or going to go down with the ship. So it's just taking time, dogs. Back when Overstock ran a special dividend, it took several months, and it might have even taken over a year. I can't remember the exact timeline, but it took a long time for it to finally break them. But does that mean it's not breaking them? We're about to come up on a significant date, and that significant date is April 15th. We're not that far away now. We're 2 months away from April 15th. April 15th is significant because that's the order date. That's when we were supposed to have our shares so that we could get our 10% of shares as a dividend. That's a year. Now, I believe it's E-Trade specifically told their shareholders that, no, the problem is it's not a 6-month restriction, it's a year restriction. There are many shareholders who have that written. They have it recorded on whether it's a chat, whether it's a phone call, what have you, of E-Trade telling them over and over again, at the 1 year mark, you will get your dividend. Well, when that happens, they got a big legal issue, okay, potentially. That's going to create a windfall, especially if E-Trade decides we got to deliver or we're going to be in trouble. So it takes time. It takes time. Do I get it's frustrating? Yes, I do. But if I had my 10% shares of GTI right now, dividend, would I be any better off with the price where it is? No. So, I mean, even if it didn't work, quote unquote, like especially on your timeline, what did you lose out by it? Because right now the stock's 20 cents. So even if you had 10,000 shares and you got 1,000 shares and they're at 20 cents right now, you're missing out on $200. Was your $200 worth the try? I think so, and I think it's still going to work. I just think it's going to take time. Why is Alpine still in business? They're fighting to stay in business. But they're still in business because they're taking it to the courts. That's the only reason. Joe wondering, but do large corporations hold a lot of T-bills, T-notes? That would be awesome. Just crash the bad acting corporations, wipe them out on that debt. Dang, that's good. Are you talking about treasury bills? You better believe a lot of them do. Yeah, that's one of the best investments for them. Imagine dating Mackenzie Bezos. Oh, God. Not legal. Rumor I just heard from the guy driving my car is that Bezos is buying Big and Finger. I mean, that would be cool. Bezos buying Finger just took $500 million. I mean, it'd be over. Winged Wolves, in 10 years or less, the debt will be $50 trillion. This can't continue. It can't continue. And just think that debt is going to have to be refinanced eventually at these higher rates. The higher rates are going to kill them. The reason, and this is, I don't even think this is conspiracy. I think at this point it's fact. But during the Obama years, coming out of the Great Recession, one of the reasons that Bernanke and Yellen took the rates down to zero was because they believe in Keynesian economics. Okay, Keynesian economics believes that you can spend all you want all the time, and the more debt you spend, it'll just keep stimulating the economy, and it'll never hurt you, basically. And they kept the rates at zero because it kept the debt cheaper. And so this is part of that great experiment. And you could also say they were trying to bankrupt our economy long run on purpose anyway, so they could move into whatever the World Economic Forum wants to do, yada, yada. But the point is this. Bernanke and Yellen are globalists, and they're Keynesian globalists. And so they kept the rates at zero for a long time. And during that time, the U.S. government was like, oh, yeah, we can print, baby. Print, run deficits because it's barely costing us anything. Well, that's all changed now that the rates are high. So now all this spending is costing us much more. And every few years, that debt gets basically they change a lot of it back to the current interest rates instead of the old ones. And that's when the debt payments just go soaring. So yeah, it's going to be a problem here real soon. Real soon. Oh no, Borat? Where did Borat come? Very nice. I don't know if I want to do Borat tonight. Bezos' ex-wife got $38 billion in the divorce and then married their kid's science teacher. She just filed for divorce. Oh my God. Well, there you go. Johnny, you have $500 to spend tomorrow on GTI and our Finger. Please help. What would you do? I won't hold. Listen, I tell everybody the same thing when it comes to GTI and Finger. To me, they're both plays that I'm accumulating in because I don't know when they'll pop or which one will pop first. But I do believe when one goes, the other one will follow. And so to me, the safest way to do it, what I do when I have that money, is I go half and half. And that's the easiest way to say it, Johnny. So I would either do 300 in Finger and 200 GTI because GTI is so much cheaper right now. And so I could get a little more Finger that way instead of doing it 250, or I'd do 250. That's personally what I would do. Yeah. But I can't tell you what to do. I'll just tell you what I could do. That's not financial advice. Mark R. Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta President Raphael Bostic said there's no rush to cut interest rates. I think, is Bostic the one who earlier said it'd be September? I think he is. Rumdog, if Alpine goes out of business, will that begin a squeeze? Do they hold some magic card that'll trigger something, or do we just want them gone? There is a high likelihood it could trigger the squeeze because they are holding a big amount. They're holding the concentrated short position. I mean, that's what the NSCC told us. So Rumdog, if Alpine goes out of business, all of a sudden their prime broker is gone. All right. And so there'll be a lot of buying in, and there'll have to be a lot of covering of that position, which could cause a squeeze immediately. In my opinion, it probably would. The Kramers, we know, I mean, this was just few weeks ago, a month ago. We got word of their lawyer and them trying to create a new prime broker, register a new prime broker that they could probably have their dirty work done through. The reason, because I think they see the writing on the wall for Alpine and they know they're screwed if Alpine goes away. So yes, I totally believe that if Alpine goes, the squeeze is right there. So Stony, Johnny, there's a reason those tickers are in the title of every vid. Basically, we all that's very true. Yeah. They definitely should be out of business already, Kryptonian. I agree with that 100%. Zero hedge today. Goldman is stumped by the plunge in retail sales. We just got numbers. Retail sales are plunging for January, and everybody's freaking out because December was so strong. But we already talked about this. So those of you who've been watching my video or other people like Danielle DiMartino, Booth, I get a lot of my information from. We all know that the buy now, pay later funded Christmas for like 60% of Americans used it at some point, which is you guys all know buy now, pay later, 4 payments, pay something off. That also is not held on your credit report. It doesn't affect your credit report. They don't report to the credit agencies. So it's this big bubble of debt off to the side. People use that for Christmas. Well, the thing is with buy now, pay later, once you use it, you can't keep using it for everything. You can't. You got to pay them back off. And so we come into January and now sales are plunging. Well, that's because everybody was willing to go in debt for Christmas, but they're not willing to go in debt except for basic needs come January. And so that's what's going on. But the market was like rejoicing. Yeah, everybody's spending again. Everything's great. November and December. Look, we got a strong economy. And that's what's really happening, is that it was just a temporary blip because of a new device, a new debt device they created that got everybody through Christmas. And now we're seeing what really is going on with retail. So I imagine this is going to just continue. We might have like a good month here or there. And by good, it's going to be like good comparatively, not historically good. But that might happen here or there. But the truth is, this trend, I do believe we'll keep seeing going down. Matthew Parker, Jerome Powell's son getting the insider information, money for Bezos. Really? I didn't go read that story, so I didn't know what was going on there. Goodwill, confirm would not, but after Alpine goes down, a trustee takes custody to liquidate the positions over 6-day window. That sounds correct, and I feel like Knott's talked about that before. Paul Young, Kramers must not be sure about getting a new Alpine if they're calling around for shares. No comment. Goodwill, positions on Alpine's balance sheet. By that time, Hurry will have thrown Kurt and Seth under the bus to save him as well. Absolutely. And remember, we heard last summer that John Hurry was already ready to wipe Alpine off the books. He was ready to liquidate it. But he I guess he just decided to throw it in the ring and see what happened in the court case first. But it sounded like he already knew it was a sinking ship. But these guys, man, they just don't care. He doesn't care if we go into a year of litigation, I guess, over it. They'll claim total liquidation ready to default on debt. Yes, but that won't affect us. Our shares, because they're all participating in a federally regulated stock market. Our shares cannot be liquidated off as somebody else's debt. It would have to be the federal government that decides to do that. So we don't have to worry. If they go bankrupt, it's good for us, not bad for us. Elon's doing more stuff. I heard Elon throw out something. I don't think it's going to happen, but he did make a comment that made me think he's thinking about buying Disney. How wild would that be? Brett says, if Alpine goes down, logically the DTCC will have to cover the trades via insurance. There's no one who will touch the position with such a large short volume. 100%. Couldn't agree more, Brett. How low will they take ZJYL this week? I don't know. I don't expect it to go well. I mean, there's only one more day of trading. It was only down 10 cents today, and it bounced back up 8 cents in after hours. I don't think they're going to really attack it hard tomorrow. I just don't. Did the Supreme Court rule they don't have immunity and we could sue them? That ruling won't be given until June, Miguel. So the Supreme Court, when they hear something, you don't get the answer on that until June, except in very rare cases that are extremely time sensitive. For the most part, when the Supreme Court, it releases all of its rulings in June. That's how the Supreme Court works. So yes, it usually takes a while. Matt, what's up? Could I restart? Sorry, buddy. Old Fine, start carnivore on Monday. You feel great. Surprised to feel the effects so quickly. Absolutely, man. Carnivore usually, for me, I usually have energy by the second day. That's usually when I start getting the energy and the good feelings. So, let's see here. Insiders are selling out of the market. Okay. You can see right here, this goes along with the buying in cash instead of the stock market. So you can see the insider selling. I mean, look, this is as of January, just shooting up. So again, follow what they're doing. That's what Nancy Pelosi does. She just follows the insiders and she talks to them and she passes legislation for them and she makes millions doing it. So I think we should be listening to the insiders. So there you go. That's more on the regional banks. Kristen Shaughnessy shared this today. Regional banks fighting a lot of fires. High interest rates eat into their margins. High interest rates keep their loan business down. Again, remember leverage, what we talked about earlier? It's going away. Remember, there's $929 billion in commercial loan paper coming due in 2024. Refinance at higher rates. If you guys have been watching this, if you've been watching my channel, you've seen it. But watching this, the commercial real estate right now is selling for pennies on the dollar from what it was even a few years ago. Pennies on the dollar, even before the big jump. So we're seeing commercial properties sell for like 25-30% of what they were selling for in 2018, and now almost a trillion of that. Of the loans on those is about to be refinanced from 0% in this area, or let's say they got it at 3%, up to current mortgage rates, 7%. That's devastating. That's devastating. That's more than twice of what we saw in 2023. This is all coming this year. You can't, like, if you wrote a book and it had all these threads of, 500 different threads and they all came together in the same chapter, you'd say, this is a stupid book. This would never happen. That's what's happening in 2024. All the threads of our economy are reaching these endpoints here in 2024. It is wild. It is. I truly believe we're going to look back at 2024 someday and think it was one of the most historic years in history for those of us who understand economics and world events and all that, because it's wild. This is a story she shared here. This came out yesterday. Official regional banks are in trouble. The media also is always the last to report on this stuff. The first to report on everything is Twitter, which is why I love Twitter. God bless it. It's wonderful. Thank you, Elon. It is the news source now. And you always get the news first on Twitter. Media is always late to the party. But this is finally the media catching on to this. So when the media catches on, this is a big issue. And March now, we're ticking down. It is February 15th. We are 25 days away from BTFP being pulled. So about to get wild. You work for Disney, Andrew? Nice. Listen, I'd love if Elon took over Disney, he would take it back to like what Disney was in the 80s, 90s, 70s, all those, like when the great movies were coming out, before the company went super dark, well before it went woke. And he might even take it back further to like 50s and 60s when it was really pure and wonderful. I love Disney. I still believe in Disney long term. Just like Twitter had something I always believed in. The wrong people were in charge. And so, yeah, if Elon took over, it'd be awesome. Carnivore's good for energy and the shits. That's true, Em. But only the first few days. And if you do the carnivore, it's not really carnivore. It's called carnivore that I do, where you can have fruit. You avoid that after the first couple days. If GTI sends Trento, it's over. I do believe it would be. I do. You had beef burger with heart and liver topped with egg and avocado today for that sounds amazing. Goodwill, unpopular opinion. I don't necessarily think Trento's a big deal. You follow other stocks with raw mineral reserves valued in the billions, and there are 1 to 2 large stocks with smaller float. Interesting. Goodwill, the only reason I disagree with you, I'm not saying you're wrong. I actually think you're right if you're talking in a macro normal sense. But the thing is, here with GTII, you'd be taking a company that's valuation is pretty low right now because it hasn't had a deal signed in so long. And you have this company that overnight would go from like nothing happening with a very devoted shareholder base and the float held several times over. And you take that company and all of a sudden you make it worth probably 10, 20 times what it was worth before. I think that shock as a catalyst is what sends it, not necessarily. If it had been a Trento for the last 5 years, I agree with you. It would probably just create a better floor. But this is a catalyst coming into a stock that's ready for us for anything to send it. So that's why I think it's a big deal. SEC allowed Donald Trump's media technology company to merge with a blank check acquisition vehicle in a deal currently values the parent as much as $10 billion. Wow, what? Truth Social, $10 billion? That's wild. Isn't the government shutdown coming around again? No, it was pushed off till 2025. In fact, they raised the debt ceiling and put no limits on it until 2025 to negotiate again. Thank you, Kevin McCarthy, you rhino scumbucket. The worst debt deal ever signed. So yeah, no, we have till the 2025 and they don't have to worry about the debt limit at all this year. So the only thing preventing them from spending us into oblivion this year is a Republican Congress keeping gridlock. That's the only thing slowing them down. Otherwise, if they all wanted to spend, they could spend as much as they wanted this year. There would be nothing to slow them down. The one says, I feel strongly finger squeezes next month with the news about to come out. I love that, the one. We can hope. DWAC's got a $2 billion market cap. Disney's in the 60s, 70s. It was magic. Disney was magic from Snow White, in my opinion, all the way through the 70s. Had a little off 80s, and then the 90s were great, man. Aladdin is amazing. Lion King, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast. I'll still watch those movies with my kids. I love those movies. Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules. Just such good stuff. Cool Runnings. God, the 90s were great for Disney. Most of us in the trenches are pretty conservative. That is true. I would say 95% of my audience is conservative people. Yeah. And I'd say 95 of that 95% are Trump people. And then I have like 5% Democrats who watch me, and I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Even though you hate when I talk politics, but that's okay. And another 5% that are like Republican, more establishment Republican types. And I love you guys too, even though I think you're crazy for not supporting Trump. KM, Elon Musk will not be allowed to buy Disney. The current government would not allow it. Too much power in media. I don't know about that, KM. I don't think so, because Elon doesn't already own a media company. I mean, he owns a social media company, but I don't think it'd matter. No, I really don't. And Apple actually would be competing because Apple has Apple TV now. So I don't necessarily think that's true. What's up, Fro Girl? Goodwill, agree on the front, bringing it back to life, and not necessarily $5 stock overnight, back to $1. Yes, I don't. Personally, I think Trento would spring it up further than that, but you might be right, Goodwill. You might be right. ZJYL was a blessing for us to get into so we can load up whatever else. 200 million counterfeit shares are not selling as a moonshot. That's true. I agree. Yeah. DraftKings, they're getting all that money, maybe. Lots of Honey Badger, will crap destroy the magic of Disney? It did. The thing is, though, Disney even had magical moments the last 2 decades. It was really the last 4 years where it got really bad. But they still had some good stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Encanto. That movie's amazing. Carnivore meal, I love bacon and eggs. I love bacon and eggs, and I love a good old steak. And then on top of that, I have one more meal I love on carnivore, and that is to just cook hamburger and put a ton of stuff on it. Like just veggie, like, or yeah, you know what I mean. Just no bread, and but I'm allowed dairy, so I put cheese on it, and then fruit, so avocado, that kind of stuff, and then I just put a bunch of hot sauce on it, and I really season it up well. Oh man, I love it. Those of us at WDW, what? Oh, Walt Disney World. Oh, Walt Disney World. You work at Walt Disney World? That's awesome, man. Disney poached you from the military. Nice. Hi. I'll see you soon. My wife just got home. Elon would try to remake cars using electric cars, so not the same. Oh, you mean the movie Cars? That'd be funny. Lightning McQueen getting charged up. J-Rob takes no political side. All suits are crooks. I'd say most of them, not all though. Tons of butter over your steaks and hamburgers. Oh yeah, you gotta have butter. That's exactly right. You have to. 6 more. Keith, what are you talking about? It's not keto, Jesse, but it's okay. So it's I can't remember the guy who came up with it. He was on Rogan, and I was listening to Rogan, and it was like carnivore adjacent. It's actually what Rogan mostly does now. It's not keto because I'm allowed fat, like, and carbs, just not bread. I actually don't eat. I said vegetables. I don't eat vegetables on it. I'll just eat fruit. So the carnivore diet I do. And I haven't been good at it because the Super Bowl and everything took me out of it and getting sick. But I'm getting back on it. I have lost over 10 pounds since January, and I'm planning to get back to it. But it's meat, fruit, dairy. That's basically it. So I can have yogurt, cheese. I don't really drink milk, but I can eat yogurt and cheese, and I have coffee. And then anything with seeds in it, really. But I know it's not officially carnivore. I know that, but they call it carnivore. They call it carnivore something. I can't remember, but it is. It's wonderful. Even a lot of the big time carnivore guys, they do it to some extent now, and because it gives you some carbs, which are really good for your brain and everything. So they might not do it like every day, but they allow themselves it on weekends and stuff like that. It's becoming more and more, because the idea is that the idea is that you need carbs, and fruit is basically designed to be just plucked and eaten, versus vegetables, which are plants. So they have like defense mechanisms and stuff. Yeah, proper human diet. That's one way to call it. But it's not paleo. It's not keto. It's not anything like that. It's much more free than all those things. And I love it. It's great. It works wonders for me. I feel great on it. I lose weight like crazy, and I don't get cravings like I do I used to when I tried other things. So, your brother-in-law's listening to me as an oncologist. He's laughing, says you'll all be new patients. Why? Because we eat red meat? No, we're the ones who won't be. Listen, I am 40. I haven't been to the doctor. I haven't had a health issue pretty much my entire life. Last checkup I had, my heart was perfect. Yeah, I mean, I'm in great health, and I get lots of sun. You know what I do? He's an oncologist. I do everything they tell me not to do, which is I get lots of sunlight. I don't use sunscreen. I don't get sunburnt as a result. I stay away from seed oils. I stay away from high fructose corn syrup, but I eat lots of fruit. As much fruit as I want. I eat lots of red meat. I eat all the red meat in the world. It's pretty much the only meat I eat. And yeah, I feel great. And I tell you what, you can tell your oncologist buddy this, but we're finding out more and more that actually is the way to true health. So all the stuff that they told us, medical field told us, was wrong. And I'm sorry. And after COVID, I'll just probably never trust doctors again, to be honest. I'll go naturopaths. I'll go chiropractors, But doctors, if you guys trust big pharma at all, if you guys trust the CDC at all, the FDA at all, I can't trust you. So that's how it goes. McCaffrey's wife is way better looking than Sarah. That is true. She's smoking. Don't forget, raw honey is amazing. I love raw honey. Kryptonian, it's promoted on the carnivore side because certain enzymes in certain fruits help process meat in the digestive system. One reason you see Asian cultures eat fruit with meat. Ah, that's good. What book? I don't have a book on it. The guy's website, I'll have to find the website, but it's really good stuff. Yeah, red meat's terrible for you. Ask all the Native Americans. Yeah, that's so good. I mean, they're so good. KYP says lots of vitamin D, cure yourself from COVID. Absolutely. Everything they say leads to diabetes. That's right. Fauci took over in 84. He took over in as our health guru. I can't remember exact title he took, but he came in 84. And in the 70s, the United States was so healthy, they actually almost defunded the American Cancer Association because there were so few people with cancer. And they had all these other health things that were just disappearing. People were so healthy in the 70s. That's when life expectancy was starting to peak and all that. And since then, our national health has gone way down. And also, Big Pharma has gone way up. Fauci is a major part of making Big Pharma what it is today, where it's just straight from hell. Evil bastards. You had too much rum tonight. That's all right, Al. I love when you have rum, man. It's fun. Nick, you went to a credit union bank. The people told me a few banks are in trouble. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, man. Absolutely. Salt, sugar, and caffeine is a great. George P., you've been mostly carnivore for about 6 months, had labs last week. Everything great. Cholesterol high, but good cholesterol real high. Exactly. And that's what I'm telling you. Carnivore is an amazing diet for health issues. Harvard did a study on 2,000 people. You can Google it right now. Just say Harvard Carnivore Diet Study, 2,000 people. And the health benefits after a year of carnivore are amazing. Several people who were type 2 diabetes no longer were type 2 diabetes. Gut issues cleared up. Inflammation was way down. It's like a miracle thing. Never caught COVID. Started ivermectin in June of 2020. Love it. Honey Badger, almost all the studies saying low-fat diets are good are paid for by someone who profits from you being fat and unhealthy. There you go. DBAce, you should not say you won't go to doctors anymore. Go chiropractors when you have cancer or other serious. You don't have a chance. You don't get anti-cancer drugs. DB, I didn't say I'd never go. If I'm in a life or death situation, I have no other option, then I'll try what they have. But even with cancer, there's several alternative options to try before you go the big pharma route. So, because the truth is that what's it called? Chemotherapy it'll destroy you on the way to trying to get you healthy, and I don't want to do that unless you absolutely have to. Pancake and a cigarette, yeah. Honey Badger, yes, on the 70s. Look at all the beach pics of people in the 70s. They're all fit and lean. Absolutely. If whoever is calling around about buying GTI could send it. There's some interesting stuff there. I'll let Ham talk about that. Fauci's $18 million estate? No, I can't go there. It's just the 13G for ZJYL basically proved that the entire float is held by just a few people. One guy owns 107 million of the 139 million shares in the float by himself. So ZJYL is locked up. They have no escape. Biggest catalyst out there is MMTLP. I mean, I agree with that. It's just, when will that happen? That's what we don't know. How do I think credit unions are going to hold up? It's a good question. I think it truly depends on the credit union. Not every credit union is as honest and pure as you think. So you just have to do your research. The name of the diet where you only eat honey? The Pooh Bear diet. Oh, bother. Oh, pigget. Safest banks. The safer banks are going to be the bigger banks right now. Yeah. The bigger banks are going to be safe. I hate that. I want to support local banks. But right now, so what they did I think it was in 2018, maybe it was 2019, But in coming out of the financial crisis, they established higher. What was the word? Basically, the banks had to have higher reserves than they'd had in the past. Okay, and so they hired that for every bank. Well, in 2018 or 2019, in order for smaller banks to be able to keep up, they lowered the standards for the regional banks, but they kept those standards for the big banks, depending on a certain size. So all the big banks right now have a much bigger cushion to fall on that is propping them up because they had to be held to those tighter standards. But the other banks were released from that. And so they've been able to be much riskier in their portfolios and in their lending and everything. So the regional banks are really the ones that are going to be in trouble this time. It's the inverse of what happened in 2018. Read World Without Cancer by Edward Griffin. I think I've heard that book. Mark, chemotherapy not only kills fast-growing cancer cells, also kills or slows the growth of healthy cells that grow and divide quickly. That's true, yeah. I know several people who have gotten cancer that are young right now, and the only reason that makes any sense is the COVID shot. So there you go. Bloomberg's front run the MMTLP army right now. You think so? Bloomberg? Purgatory. Never mess with the next preacher. That's true. My theology stuff comes out every once in a while. The one says, I don't trust doctors myself, especially when they rewrote the medical books and had a lot of holistic doctors disappear. I mean, and that's been happening for 2 centuries. Will they have money to pay everyone? Yeah, they got plenty of money. I'm not worried about that. Yeah, Chase is opening new locations. That's true. Yeah. How many credit unions have you heard about that one under? How many banks? I'm not saying don't go to a credit union. I mean, if you're talking small regional places, credit unions are much safer than the regional banks right now. I'm just saying that there are certain credit unions that, man, I can't remember the exact way to explain it, but basically it's just not something you want to trust. They're more tied to what's going on than you would think. Not legal. Someone's established that without being nearly done, they could document more than 15 times the number of shorts FINRA says. Wow, 15 times. Dang. Yeah, they do push pills. You're right about that. All right, I'm going to finish up. I got one last thing I wanted to cover tonight, and then I'm going to call it a night. All right, so today I wanted to go over this. So this big data poll is run by Rich Barris, who is awesome. He's, I think, the smartest pollster out there. He does these amazing polls, and they just did a huge one where they got 3,000 people, and they didn't just do registered voters, they did likely voters. And this is a really good poll to move through. But because earlier I was talking about at the end of the year, I am pretty sure we're going to have Trump back in office. And the thing is, and a lot of people are like, well, they'll cheat again, they'll steal it, whatever. At these numbers, that would be impossible because it's just not possible to steal it at these numbers. And so I know there's a lot of things going on, but I just wanted to show you guys how insane the lead is getting here. All right. So, and the other thing that's important about this poll is that it was done with likely voters, which likely voter polls are always more accurate than registered voter polls. So they poll people who are actually likely to vote versus those just registered, because a lot of registered voters will stay home. And so likely voters are more engaged. Or this, I mean, I those interested in political stuff, I highly recommend you go through this. But right now, I mean, they have Trump 46 to 39.5% for Biden. Okay, so that's a 6.6 edge. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. And with leaners, it goes up to 53.7 versus 46.3. Okay, so this is beyond any margin that can be stolen. All right, when you put Kennedy in, okay, you get it to Trump having an almost 7-point lead. I'm telling you, it's only getting worse for him. So I just wanted to share this because this and obvious, go follow Rich Barris. He breaks down polls all the time. He's like a much better version of 538 Nate Silver. But this, I'm telling you guys, this came out today, and this is going to be huge. So if everything else happens with the economy, if it gets pushed and we don't have our squeeze, I think this will be the thing that gets Patrick Byrne in to the SEC chair, and that sends us. So I just wanted to show you guys that because we talked about earlier and why I'm so confident. It's because of these numbers right here. I mean, here's the ranges, the spread on the right side there, and those just numbers at this point, and we're heading into March. It's almost impossible to flip those back. So I just, and you gotta think that in every poll back in 2020, Trump was underwater and he still barely lost. So there you go. That's what I wanted to cover before going tonight. So let me catch up with you guys and then we'll head out. Let's see. Goodwill, you meant with the funds with Bloomberg terminals when MMTLP settles. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. I was wondering. I thought you were like, is Bloomberg telling people to do that? That's crazy. Honey Badger, apricot seeds helps your T cells kick cancers on a Blue Zone Netflix special. Interesting. 3 to 4 of them a day? Wow. Those are big old seeds to be eaten, man. All those illegal board votes. They're not going to get them to vote, though. That's the thing. It's like that doesn't work as long as they don't get it passed through the House and signed into law. That doesn't work in states that require ID. And that is most of the swing states and the red states now. So that won't change anything. And that's where the Electoral College will save us. All right. COVID changed your political views, Anna? I believe you. It did a lot of people. Jesse, nothing's impossible if you're not cheating, not trying hard enough. Well, there you go. Clark, the Democrats won't steal it because they know if they do, they know it because, well, probably. George Gammon I'd like George Gammon a lot. So I know they're going to try stuff, but one of the things that tells me they already know it's over or close to being over without some miracle on their side is one of the things that tells me it's going to happen is that they're already putting it into the media. Okay. They're already spreading the narrative of them coming back. They just tried to pass in that Ukraine bill. They just passed, or the Senate passed, but the House isn't going to vote on. So it's not going to get signed. They tried to pass a trigger in it that the Ukraine money would keep flowing, even if presidencies change. And if a president tried to stop that funding, they could be impeached. They tried to put a trigger into that bill for the next president. That tells me they're plotting to lose this election. They're planning on losing it. Doesn't mean they're not going to fight to win it, but they see the writing on the wall. And you have to read all this stuff. I was a political scientist. I've been studying this stuff for 22 years. I'm telling you guys, this is how they start feeding the narrative. They're already planning to lose. They're going to fight like hell to win. But getting the House in 2022 is saving us from so many laws that they would have gotten passed that would have changed everything. And it was the thing that might have saved this election going forward, because they would have, obviously, the border crossings, they would have allowed something like that to get much worse. And I'm sorry, not every one of them does get driver's licenses, especially now with the True ID going around. That is much, much harder for them to just dole out, because that has to come from the state. And so you guys aren't completely correct on that. I get why the doomsaying comes. I get why the blackpilling comes. But the truth is, guys, is that this is setting up to be much more in the favor of this getting Biden out of there, let me put it that way, than you think. It's really starting to look better and better by the day. So, yeah, narrative seeding. That's exactly right, Toe Cramp. Al, even though you were late, my chat's always enlightening. You're welcome, Al. Thank you. The one, take cilantro abstract, get the metals out of your blood. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to worry about that. Rum Dog, the only good thing about Trump losing in 2020, the Dems were forced to show their hand. That's true. Brett, I wonder if Trump will have the Keystone pipeline up and running quickly. I imagine it'll be day one, written in executive order. Yeah, they know the coming loss is inevitable. That's what I believe too. And I've been following this very closely. I'm going to continue to keep showing you guys stuff I see that makes me very, very confident. So, all right, guys, I'm going to end in a prayer and I'm going to go hang out with my wife. Love you guys as always. If you're not into the prayer, that's all right. Have a great night. Otherwise, please like, subscribe on your way out though. I appreciate it. Share if you don't mind. You guys are the best. And, I appreciate you and spending time with me. And even when I talk about stuff you probably don't care about, and that's all right though. That's why we do it. So anyways, all right, guys, let's knock it out. All right. So Father God, thank you for today, another beautiful day. Thank you for seeing some strength in the stocks we believe in, Lord, like GTII and Finger. And God, more than anything else, we just want justice, because justice will bring prosperity to those who are like on the right side of things, Lord, who are hard workers and honest people, Lord. And that's what we want. We want justice. And so I pray for that. And I pray for justice in our markets, in our country. And I pray you bless everybody here, all their fight they're doing, Lord, for every little thing they can do, even if they're busy as hell, but they're able to just tweet out some information or share it with people. Every little bit helps as we just share information and help more and more people, God, just wake up to what's really going on in our country and the world, so that, God, we can hopefully just bring a much better country and all of our areas, our cities, our states, God, just going forward. And I do believe that this year is a pivotal year in history. And I just pray that everything that needs to be wiped away will be wiped away, that you'll preserve all of us and give us wisdom to get through any hard times so that we can prosper on the other side of it. And I pray that our country would prosper and we could just be a blessing to everybody in our path, that you'd build us up so we could bless others. And we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Bless you guys. Love y'all. Have a great night. And I might see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see the members Saturday.